Hey, 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 Dr. M here. Always excited to be able to come on live in the lounge. I have Mandy Petkau. Is
Petka.
that right? Petkau.
Petka.
Okay, I
Yeah,
tried. I was close. I just wasn't confident.
it's all
Petkau.
good.
I love that. Coming all the way from Canada to the Peace Driven Leader Lounge. I am so grateful to be able to connect with you. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence on today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really
Yeah,
looking forward to having some conversations. The last time we spoke, you all, I found myself in deep thought and my eyes watery because of the depth that you bring in conversations. I really appreciate the level of just soberness and insight that you give. And this is what this space is all about, you all. This is a sacred space for leaders of leaders like you who have devoted a large part of their life to serving everyone else. And now this is your time to be poured into. This is your time to experience what it looks like for you to lean into curiosity and lean into what I call growth leadership. Everyone who is listening, you're part of a bigger community of people who just doesn't want to look good on paper, but they want to live well from the inside out in that order. And so, if you're here on today, I want to say welcome, welcome to you virtually from all across the world. I'm looking forward to having this global conversation with you, Mandy. Why don't you open us up by just sharing a little bit about you, your dynamic or your mom? Do you have kids, grandkids? How is life looking? How's that landscape, especially if you've worked in the corporate America in the space? What did that look like? Yeah, just so we can have a little bit of understanding of how your world looks before we dive into conversation.
yeah, thank you. And thank you. I really appreciate what you share and your beautiful presence. Thank
No,
you
thank
for
you.
inviting me on. So, I'm from Alberta, Canada, and um, been here most of my life. And I'm a mom. Yeah, I'm a
So
mom.
surprised because I don't hear you say what those Canadians say,
Hey,
eh?
yeah. I don't think I say it very often, but we'll see. Hey. Anyways, yeah, I'm a mom. I have 4 kids. My oldest is turning 16 this month, and my youngest is 8.
Aw.
So busy, fun season. And
Mhm.
my husband and I, we work together as well we own a financial insurance and investment brokerage here in Alberta, which we started from the ground up. So I've been an entrepreneur all my life, but this was my husband's first stepping into being an entrepreneur and doing business together. It's been quite a
Mm,
journey.
I bet.
Yeah, I think we're 9, close to 10 years now. Um, so
Wow.
yeah, and then recently, my passion is doing that inner work because of my journey, my healing journey. Um, yeah, my passion is doing inner work and coaching. I used to be a music teacher for many years since I was 16. So I love
Mhm.
teaching and helping break down simple concepts for people to understand and share. I've been an entrepreneur all of my life as well, since I was younger than 16, actually. And so my
Oh,
passion
wow.
is, yeah, helping women in business clear their energy and blocks around money and finance. So, yeah.
Awesome. So you're talking about a topic that is like a hot topic when it comes to that. Now, a lot of the listeners that we have here are corporate leaders of leaders, like they are high earners. A lot of them are really experiencing, financial success, but a lot of times people misunderstand that you still hit an income ceiling. It doesn't matter how much you're making. It's really we all reach that point where we feel like we've plateaued, right? And
Mhm.
also, just really being able to get to that point where you understand that regardless of the amount that's coming in on the bank account, there's still like money insecurities. And there's still things in our
Absolutely.
spending habits and our patterns that really reflect some traumas and some past, things. And so let's kind of unpack that and tell me some of your discoveries from doing your work.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because my husband and I, the first time we hit our we were aiming for like 10 grand a month, and we hit that several months in a row, and it felt exactly the same as when we were really struggling and barely making it. Like,
Right?
yeah,
That's
we can
like,
have we yeah, it's those insecurities, that relationship with money. Sometimes when you make more, um, it still can feel the same way. So how do you change your feeling around money? How do you
yeah,
experience something different so that you actually can
yeah.
enjoy the increase that you're living in?
Yes, let's talk about that. How would you say, if you were to answer that question, how can you really experience the joy and the pleasure of the increase that you already have? Because I know that that gratitude and that energy of gratitude actually opens up the door for abundance. And so, what does that look like, in real
Yeah.
time?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple processes that I learned that shifted everything for me, and now I lead women through. One of them is that it's gratitude, because what you focus on grows. And um, when we were trying to get our residual income to a certain point, we were focused on like frustration and how small it felt, and we were focused on the lack. And as soon as we shifted that into gratitude and celebrating every little increase,
Yeah.
within less than a year, we tripled our residual income.
Whoa.
And
Yeah,
I
I
really
mean,
attribute it to shifting our energy so we weren't like blocking it or projecting out their lack. We were now celebrating every increase, even if it was $5 or $50 or $500, right?
so that's wild because right now my husband and I we have this thing and I call it the money calendar.
Oh, I
And
love that.
what I've done is I've put it's just a regular calendar we got from the dollar store. And I put it on the wall and literally every not just money that comes in that's in cash value, but like just the other day we had our hot water heater went out and it was like, oh my gosh, we had to act quickly and his best friend actually came over. He used to do that work all the time. He's retired now, but it would have normally cost us a whole heck of a lot more a day to have him come in and do that work. Which, he just said, hey, whatever you want to give me is cool. He really didn't want us to give him anything. But the amount that we saved, I put it on the calendar because to me, that's money that did not go out. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I literally was like grateful for all those things. And that money calendar every month, it's like you keep acknowledging what's coming in and the number at the end of the month we calculate. So each day, if whatever came in that day, I calculated on that day. And it's only money that goes on that calendar. And so at the end of the month, I do the math and I calculate it up. And then like each month, it's just really cool to see how it
Oh, I love
increases. So that's
that.
just, yeah, it's been a really
Yeah,
fun, really
yeah, I
nice.
love that.
Yeah.
We pretty much did the same thing except for just with the residual income. We put it on a spreadsheet so that we
Mm.
could see that growth happening, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
love
I
that,
really
like,
think it's something
calculating.
powerful. Yes. Go
Yeah,
go
and
ahead.
also calculating where abundance is coming in other ways, because sometimes we don't acknowledge that, and that affects our money energy as well. So I love that you're seeing it not just in money, but also in services that you get that you would have had to pay for.
Yeah. What are
Yeah.
some other money blocks that you see happening a lot with just within your work?
Yeah. So every day I hear women, and this has been myself in the past as well, and I still work through things that triggers as they come up, but I hear
Yeah.
like it's money is so stressful, or money is um ooh, one juicy one was, "It feels anorexic." Or
Mm,
another one was like, "It feels like my abusive ex," or
mm.
it feels like frustration, and, like, all these negative feelings around money. And it's interesting because money is like a mirror. And when I first realized this, it shifted so much for me. So it mirrors, what was I going with that? It mirrors our
Who you
relation.
are, amplifies who you already are. I know I've heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. But like if you were to like just take a moment and feel a stressful moment around money, and you're to trace
Mhm.
that back. This is some of the work that I do. If you trace that back, it mirrors like relationships that you had in the past, generally your primary ones with your parents. And so if like
Mm.
receiving love was hard or you had to do things to get attention, well then that's how money shows up for you too.
Mhm.
um yeah, so I
That is so
find that
good.
yeah, I find that it mirrors our relationships, especially those primary ones. And
Yeah.
once that clicked for me and I realized that, then it's the question came to me, well, what if money could feel like love?
Mm.
And literally like feel that in your body instead of those money is stress, money is I'm so frustrated, like there's never enough, like all of
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. It's like, well, what if we're connected to a divine energy of wealth? And what if that felt like love instead of fear? What if that felt like
Let me ask you this, Mandy, because I'm really speaking to that leader who may see money. If we take your money as love ideology, right? And this person has no problem showing love to everybody else. And so they're the person who will put money towards the business project because logically it makes sense. They put the money towards getting this person, uh, situated because they just graduated and helping this person get out of a situation that they got themselves into and really just no problem being the giver. But when it comes down to investing in themselves, whether it be a program or a trip that they absolutely love to take, like something that only they really benefit from initially, it is super hard for them to use their money. And it's not even about not having the money is there, but it's easier for them to love others than it is for them to show that love back to themselves. What type of work needs to be done in that situation where the spending is happening externally? How do you really guide a woman in that place to be like, dang, I do that? Like, when I got, when I had the invitation to go XYZ, I turned it down. I thought it was too much, but I spent that on, another person's XYZ, you know what I mean? Or I spent that on a
yeah,
property. And so
yeah.
what is that causes us to move when you think about just past relationships? What specific trauma or trigger or circumstance that really creates that type of belief system or behavior?
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all is just the awareness because and I've started playing with this with myself. It's like, "Oh, why can I buy that easily but not that?" And as women, yeah, we're often giving and nurturing and can often put ourselves last, but that comes out of a thread from our childhood, like how we grew up, how were we nurtured or were we caregiving the people around us, like our parents even, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So the work that I would
So,
do
like
is
the people who grew up with like the oldest sister taking care of everyone else, or the responsible one, the one that
yeah.
everybody else leaned on. So it's like, hey, no, the money is not for me. It's for like that subconscious belief system of the money is to serve others.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And
That makes sense.
so yeah, yeah, so that's where it's stemming from and what you can do then is I really like get people to feel in their body because when we can shift it in your body and your nervous system, um, then it actually shows up differently. It's not just like visualizing and It actually
Mhm.
changes something physically, and so then money and physical things can show up differently as well. So I have some
Mm.
processes that I bring women through to kind of go back and notice that and heal that those
Mhm.
memories, those ways of being, and then bring that into their present experience. And it's not always about like investing in yourself can be a trap too. Like there's two sides. there's
Mhm.
Yeah, it can play out in a couple different ways where you're not investing in yourself at all, or you're investing in yourself, getting into debt and like getting into trouble with because you're trying to prove something like, oh, I am worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it can
Oh,
show up
yeah.
differently for different
You're
people. And
so good, Mandy. I can definitely connect with that, like, overly investing, you know,
yeah, to
because you're
prove.
trying to prove.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really like finding that place of presence and centered in yourself and in your worth. And from there, making like, clearer choices.
Yeah, I love the
Choices.
way you move good to clearer because I
Yeah.
believe when we use words like good and bad, judgment enters. Even when we
Yeah.
don't try to, it comes in and and it creates static to what we're really saying, which is really just clearer choices, choices that's going to give you clarity on your next move. You mentioned
Yeah, and
something that I
choices
noticed. Go
yeah,
ahead.
choices that feel right in your body, that feel aligned, that feel
Yeah. Feel
like
aligned.
safety and love,
Yeah.
whereas previously, maybe they could have been areas where you were strongly triggered. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned about the parents having such a pivotal, or intricate part in how we perceive money and our relationship with money. And I cannot deny, and I would be remiss not to emphasize how important parent leadership is because as many people that I have spoken to so far, that seems to be the common thread in some kind of way, whether it's teaching in reverse or, you know, what they where they are today. It's literally the opposite extreme. But one thing remains supreme, and that is the power of parent leadership. And for those of you who are listening right now and you also lead little legacy barriers, your children, I want you to really lean into this next question that I'm going to ask Mandy, and that is around what advice you would give to a parent. Because now we have the opportunity to like hack and get ahead of this so that our children aren't saying some of the same stories. What are some very practical things that we can do with our children so that so that we can nurture better ideas around money and create better relationships with them at an earlier age?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it's something that I ask myself a lot. Um 'Cause I feel like my journey, I've changed so much and grown so much. So how I was as a parent when my kids were really little compared to now
Yeah.
shifts, and I realize and there could actually be shame and judgment against myself for, like, not having this figured out sooner, but, um, I think more is caught than taught, like, our way of being
Mm.
when I'm at peace in myself and have done the work myself, then I just will have a different energy when I interact with my kids, like and
Oh,
I
that
don't
is
feel like
so good, Mandy. More is caught than taught, and that's so true. And as leaders, oh my gosh, it's so profound because it really emphasizes the importance of living the leadership,
Yeah,
legacy living. That's what I'm always talking about because it is an impartation that is happening daily.
yeah,
And you're absolutely right. That is how children learn, right? We're observing, we're experiencing. I mean, even energetically, unaware, our subconscious mind is active and alert. And you're right. The best thing, and this is why I really do believe that the best thing we can do we are our number one leadership asset by doing that inner work, you
Yeah.
know, doing that inner
Yeah.
work, because that's what's going to, I think about what you said about the kids. You can look at, say, for example, you have a child that's older versus a child that's like 3. You can literally look at your children and be like, oh, Lord, you could see where you were as a mom when they were that age. You see a lot of great things, but you can see a lot of things that, oh gosh, that you're having to like, because they're a mere reflection of that season and time. And you're
Yeah.
right.
But it's also like as I shift and heal, I'm more present with them, and then that helps something different show up in their life. Like, I don't have to tell them the way it needs to be. I just want them to actually just be more observant and present themselves because
Yeah.
that's kind of the foundation that, I really want them to go into life with.
Yeah, I
It's
love it. I tell my
Mhm.
daughter, the one who's most attentive lives the best life, you know?
Oh, I love that.
Being,
Yeah.
especially being attentive to you, your behavior, your
Yeah.
friends, your life, your experiences, the circumstances, how you respond. Like the attentiveness is so key. It's the seemingly insignificant things that we encounter in our life that has the greatest lessons inside. And so it makes life fun and adventurous. And it really is like, okay, this happened. What does that mean? Let me unpack this, How did this serve me? How did I bring this into my space? It just now instead of like judging, it becomes this playground of curiosity. And, what's one of the
Yeah.
greatest compliments, your kids tell you, man, mom, because they saw you back then younger, and then they're literally watching you do the work and they're watching you become a different person. Like you said, what better lesson than to have a lesson right in front of them? You're like taking them to school with your life, you
Yeah.
know? Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and
The role of
I've
parenthood.
also yeah, I've also, like, sometimes if it calls for it, I apologize and say, "You know, I used to think this, but now I'm seeing it this way, and what do you think? What feels better?"
Yes. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
love it so much. Man, an apology goes miles for a child, especially a teenager.
yeah,
It's such a human, you know, just just practical but powerful posture to have. And my kids understand that this is dual learning. Hey, I reserve the right to be wiser tomorrow. That's my little saying. So don't throw my hands up. Hey, I'm teaching you what I know with the knowledge that I have today, with the resources and the insight that I have today, and you would do the same thing with your children. And you know what? You probably may have some things, when you get older that I could have done differently. And that's just the way life is, right? It's like, you're taking this test. And the best thing that I can say is that you will not be able to say that your mama did not try the best that she could. When she woke up in the morning, she was, she went to parenting conferences, she read books, she tried to be the best person she could be for you all. And as long as I've done my best, hey, you know, that's
yeah,
that's what it's about, you know? You can't what can you can't knock a person for doing the best that they could do, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, but yeah, so I love the work that you're doing. I would love to hear, from you, just from those women and men, because we do have men who follow us as well that are corporate leaders that are juggling life, many roles, parenting, ministry. Some of them are aspiring entrepreneurs or part-time entrepreneurs and in the corporate space, that are really feeling themselves like in this burnt out, pattern, like they're having to not chase money, but really it feels like it's like they have to work hard for it, that's what the relationship with money feels like. Like it's hard work. I gotta sacrifice. I gotta miss games. I gotta, because that's the trade-off. What would you tell a person who has this ideology that, you know, you got to work hard for money, and you don't work, you don't eat, just little sayings and principles that we, commit ourselves to casually that are really serving as blocks for us. What would you tell that person?
Yeah, I would say, what if money could feel like love?
Mm.
What if it could feel safer, a little easier? And yeah, I have a process I guide people through where they would notice in their body and also recognize in their throughout their life where that thread has come from and then shift it and choose a new experience with money where it could feel so much different. And that doesn't mean then that you don't work hard, but maybe you're doing it from a different place that's way more enjoyable. That's way more like love if you're serving other people, but also not doing it in a way that's burning yourself out because you don't need to do that to receive money. And if you think that you do, where did that come from? And maybe we challenge those thoughts a little bit.
Yeah, I
If you
love
wanna
that.
play with
I love
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And like putting another word in place of hard work. Because when it comes
Yes.
to the people that we love, we don't say that. We don't say, "Oh, it's a lot of hard work being a parent." It's a lot of hard. We don't use that word. It's a lot of hard work expressing love to the people that is at our work or the people that we
Yeah,
serve in our.
imagine a little child, like a little baby or a 2-year-old or something and saying, "Oh, you gotta work hard to get my love." It's like, no, it's just there for
Yeah, it's just
right?
there. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you know what? When you look at it from a practical standpoint, heck yeah, it's times where, there's burdens, you don't feel like changing that diaper. You don't feel like driving, being a free Uber and taking your kids across the town, across town. You want to just rest, and there's sacrifices that come with love. Yeah, absolutely. But we still don't associate it with hard work. So I love that, you realize it's not that it's the absence of work or effort, but it's just the way in which it's done. It's natural. And it really comes from the perspective. It becomes a part of who
Yeah,
you are.
and
Yeah.
every single person is gonna feel that differently, but basically you're wanting something that feels like openness and love in your body instead of stress and constriction or fear. So, yeah, that will be a little bit different for every single person, like how they visualize that or the words that they use, but when you
Hmm.
can feel that in your body and have that different relationship, it's amazing
Mm.
how money shows up differently. And if there's
Mhm.
somebody who's struggling, say, to receive clients or um, struggling with lack, when you shift that in your body, like I know for me, anyways, and my husband, when we had that shift, our business kind of crossed a tipping point where all of a sudden now it feels like money is coming from everywhere. And
Mhm.
and it doesn't mean we don't get triggered still, but we've worked that through and like where we've lost money or feel like we've had failures, we've shifted our how we talk about that and how we see that to now where um like seeing it through the eyes of love instead of, "Oh, I was such a failure. I shouldn't have lost that money or I shouldn't have spent that money." So, um, yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's lots of fun ways to just shift our money energy in every single little area, and it's a lot of fun. It's my passion.
I can tell. I can hear it in your voice, and I absolutely love it. Anytime that I can talk to someone and I feel their passion, it's so beautiful. And I can say, just from our experience, seeing money as love, as I mentioned, this was the person. If you look at the first podcast, you all, and I said that I received the email that said money is love, and I had to lean in and really like check myself on why I was getting resistance. This is the woman that sent that email. So, and she felt spiritually, led to go in that direction, and that was the question that really was a catalyst for me. and my ability to be able to break this glass ceiling that I had and didn't realize around money. And so I'm so thankful for your work. I'm so thankful for your obedience and the way in which you lead in your work. And there's so many people that can be impacted in a major way by doing that soul work. And as a resort, opening up what for me felt like a clog, that was unclogged to just create this ease and flow, because I saw my parents really work hard for money. They were successful, but it was always like we were on. And so that was really embedded. And I also saw how money impacted our family. It in my mind, trauma, it's black and white. Hey, when we got all the money, this is what happened. So this is what money does. It's like we just see one way or the other. Um,
Oh, it's
and
crazy
so,
the beliefs that we pick up from our experiences, especially as a child. Like, and now we
yeah,
get
like
to do the
money
work.
did this. This
Yeah.
is why our family, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was something deeper. It was yeah.
Yeah. Much
Yeah, so now
deeper.
we get to
Yeah.
do the work of unraveling that and bringing it
Yeah.
to something more
Yeah. A
beautiful.
wise person once told me that the soul work is literally like the soil and the leadership is the root. And so this place here, you all, is your ability to be able to create a harvest by coming here in the lounge and doing that soul work, that tilling the ground, and not doing it alone, but doing it with specialized experts like Mandy in all 8 areas of leadership. If you want to have continued guides and accountability and conversations that matter, if you haven't downloaded the app I Lead We Rise, I want to highly encourage you to do that, so that this isn't just a one time experience, that we can continue to have these global conversations around what it really means to love, live, and lead differently. And that really comes from your first acknowledging that leadership is the number one asset. It is the number one thing to focus on if you even are remotely thinking about building wealth, right? How do you create wealth if you are not constantly investing in yourself, your greatest asset? It is, it is creating risk, right? It's the riskiest thing you can do to take the greatest asset and not invest in it and expect it to be the thing that creates all the other assets. It just doesn't make sense, right? And so I'm so thankful that you've gotten to this place in your journey and our paths have crossed. I'm honored to be able to continue on conversations like this. I thank you, Mandy, as well, for coming into the lounge. You all will be able to hear her inside of the app, along with other specialized experts. And Mandy, what would you like to leave the leaders of leaders, our high value people who are adding so much value to the world on today? What would you leave them with?
Well, I just believe that each one of you listening, you are a being of love and you're bringing your light and your gifts and your passion into the world. And money is part of that flow. And what if money could feel like love? The love that you are,
Mm,
find love. And I think that it can, and I'd invite you into that question to look.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sending money your way. Lots of money your way.
Yeah,
All
thank you.
right, you all. You heard it here in the lounge with Mandy. Thank you all so much. Remember, it's not about how much you carry, it's about how well you carry it. And peace driven leadership is not something you find, it's something you create. And this is your moment to create it. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you next week on the next episode. Bye bye for now.